And coming to you live from Lagoy, Bintan Island, Indonesia. We are here with the ESL Open Cup Fueled by Dare Iced Coffee, the refreshing taste of adrenaline. I am your host, Yaku of the Zaku, and with me today I am joined by La Galeta Lechera himself, Light_VIP. How we doing, Light?
Why are we in Indonesia?
Yeah,
What's up, Yaku? We're here. We're going right into an insane matchup that has no right of being in the first round of 16. Oh my god. Let's take it away, Yaku, then we can get into it.
Well, then, I suppose so. Here we have it in the top left-hand corner of the map, starting in the top left-hand corner of Nightshade, otherwise known as Belladonna, LE. LE, of course, standing for Lasting Impression. It is gonna be the Blue Terran, all the way from Brisbane? Question mark? Sydney? Melbourne? Townsville? One of those areas. Representing Mind Freak SC, it is Seither.
And in the bottom right-hand corner of Nightshade LE, we have the Australian Protoss representing Legacy Esports, as well as the city of Melbourne, and currently doing a 24-hour stream. So good luck to him. We have Probe.
What is it with the Oceanic players lately and having insane streaming hours? I mean, Claire, he streamed about 24 hours with a 2-hour break in between.
Yeah.
We had
Probe, and
you got Probe now jumping in on the bandwagon.
That's about it. But
yeah. I mean, you know, we could probably coerce someone like Pig to do one.
Mm-hmm. I haven't, to be fair, I haven't quite checked out Probe's stream quite yet, but I know that he will be cosplaying. I don't know if he's going to wear the cosplay for the entire 24 hours. I don't know if he's currently playing right now with a blindfold over one of his eyes. So that's,
blindfold. I see Jim Rising all of a sudden. Otherwise known as Trafalgar Law.
Yeah. He's cosplaying as the main character from Nier Automata, which has like an eye.
Oh.
Yeah.
That one. I know that one.
Yeah. I don't know her name, but yeah.
She's the whatchamacallit. It's like a number name. It's like not a real name. It's a number.
It's like Zero question. I don't know.
Zero? No, I think Zero is like the little kid.
I have not played it. I couldn't tell you. But this is we talked about it a little bit. This is an insane matchup right now. These are two ESL Open Cup champions.
I would argue probably they are 2 out of the 3 ESL Open Cup champions. I would argue probably the 2 best in Australia, actually. I know there are a lot of eyes. I mean, everybody knows Probe. He is the representative of the scene. He is, without a doubt, the top Oceanic player, but I don't know, I think there are a lot of eyes on players like Pez or Azure who are a lot more in the public vision, so to speak, Chappie and whatnot, but honestly I think Seither might just be one of the most intrinsically talented players in StarCraft 2, which, again, it's a little bit of a shame that he's not really somebody... What's it called? He's not
committed.
A very serious. He's not really committed. He's not. It's not his main job, so to speak.
Yeah, it isn't where all of his focus is currently on.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like Seither. He signs up and participates for fun more than anything.
Yeah, but regardless, he does continue to make deep runs, and he can totally take on a player like Probe. Ooh, and as we see, we see here, he did go for a Widowmine drop opener, so we'll see what he's able to do. Blink isn't quite done yet for Probe, so he won't have those on his Stalkers for defense.
No, he will not. But who does it really matter if you're able to position them proactively like that? Probe might lose a little bit too much here, but only loses the minimum of 1 probe to that harass.
Solid defense there by Probe. The medevac did escape in the end, but only losing a single probe. Oh, but it does look like a couple more went down. Yeah, what am I still alive?
Indeed, it is. But now it is starting to get chipped away. I kind of hope that it lives, but it does not. And yeah, my cold heart does not continue that. But
that's a little bit surprising. Maybe he does have an eye patch on. I don't know.
Probably, but yeah, Seither does get a good scout out there. Does see basically everything that Probe has gotten.
He doesn't quite know that Blink was being researched, as it does finish up right now, but he could deduce based on the amount of stalkers, and here we have the stalkers moving out. To be fair, something that's crucial is that overseer, the observer did get picked off by the Raven, and that was in the main of Seither, and that's what Probe was banking on to blink up and abuse kind of that positioning. So he doesn't have high ground vision.
That he does not. All right, Bunker's coming up, but
not, the Raven.
Yeah, good use of the turret, forcing that blink backwards, otherwise it would have very easily been sniped. A little bit of body blocking with the Marines over there as well, and yeah, Seither is still going to maintain his momentum here.
Yeah, this is so far a really solid opener by Seither. You know, the Blink Stalkers haven't really been able to achieve much. Has to be careful with that Raven, though, and make sure it doesn't get sniped. It was so close earlier, and Seither was just able to save it, did get the repair out on it, and he should be fine defensively. Ooh, looks like he's going to try and hunt down these Stalkers.
I got a question for you. Like, does it seem like Probe is getting a little bit too close? Because I really think he does have the eye patch on, because honestly, it seems like he just doesn't quite have the vision that you normally have when you're playing, so he's just getting a little bit closer.
Handicap, you know, Probe, he's won so like a couple of these already, you know, like why not?
2 out of 4, that ain't bad, yeah. So, you know, you gotta keep things fresh every now and then. I think Demi tried to do that, and Platypus opened as well.
And we do have a push coming out here. Meanwhile, at the same time, there is a drop in the natural. Ooh, Probe a little bit out of position there, able to get a couple of workers. Will he escape? Oh, doesn't blink. Didn't have quite the stalker count there.
Yeah, you know what? Probe actually didn't commit all of his units to defend against that one drop, which is definitely something you see every now and then from the Protoss players. So Seither not quite able to inch in with the main army over into the third base. They are still looking a little dangerous here. Probe will be warping in a couple of them zealots.
And I am a little bit worried for Seither. He does have to apply pressure and deal some kind of damage because he's still in 2 bases.
Alright, damage like this. Okay, a good anti-armor missile does rush to go down before the Raven gets sniped, but the force field should be enough to just really throw a wrench into Seither's aggression here. Seither's trying to poke in once again, but Probe is just not giving him the ground that Seither wants. He's fighting within the shield battery range with synergy of every unit, and Seither is in a lot of trouble right now because he has not expanded into a third base yet.
Exactly. Well, I think he only just now finished his third CC as it was in production? Question mark? Or has he not even started it? Is he? He's still in. Okay, no.
Okay, he does have a CC somewhere. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, so he does have that third base and he's trying to secure it, but he is still pretty far behind when it comes to the worker count. He's down by 11 workers.
Yeah, Mule's good. They ain't that good. Seither either needs to equalize by doing some kind of damage or just really... No, I think actually he does have to put on some pressure because otherwise he cannot catch up. He cannot bait Probe to go into this army that he's got. Or maybe he can. That's a lot of Widow Mines, and they connect with almost every zealot there, Light.
Oh my god,
definitely something to behold.
Yeah, nicely done there by Seither. Is able to push back the army of Probe and give himself a little bit of breathing room, which is quite nice. And now meanwhile Probe, he is taking up to Storm and High Templar, still a little bit of a ways away, and he is going back home. So this does give Seither like the time to build up his economy and you know, get back into this game.
Yeah, like we are kind of seeing now. That's definitely a trade that went very well in the favor of Seither there. If we just pull up the last units tab, that's a lot of minerals. Ghosts are now out, which is something that we can tell that Seither is not an alpha duckling.
Yeah, I do like that he's already getting out ghosts for those EMPs. That is so crucial in this TVP matchup. Meanwhile, Probe, he's getting a 4th base behind this. Seither does scan the 3rd, but he doesn't quite know about this just yet. We'll see if that comes into play.
Alright, it does have some good eyes on where the army actually is.
No.
Probe once again trying to come in with some aggression, but I think Seither should be able to hold that. Good EMPs. Very good EMPs, actually. One of these storms was able to come off. Oh, but there's the 2nd storm, and this bio army is so in the red.
Oh, but the medevac's still working overtime right now.
Seither, that Archon is naked. All right, Dustray should kill it, and I think if Seither does not overextend and he does not GG... Wait, hold up. Yeah,
it was
I
the whoopers
thought
in her ass.
sure that was a Seither victory.
It looked like Seither almost broke Probe. He killed all the high-tech units, the robo units, the Archons, but it looked like there was just enough gateway units and shield batteries for Probe to hold, and Seither, he was all in.
I don't even think that there was. I think Seither just way overextended when he didn't need to there. I don't think Probe had enough there. If Seither didn't ignore the Archon, run all of his units into Storm.
Yeah, it was
absolutely Seither's game until the last second.
Yeah. Like, as you said, that Archon survived a little bit too long, even though it didn't have any shields, right? So that did deal a little bit of extra damage. And again, like...
Sorry, go ahead.
It was so close. He was so close to breaking Probe there. It's just unfortunate that at the same time, there were Zealots just wreaking havoc in the main of Seither.
I'm going to be looking at stream right now because I think, I could be wrong, but I do believe that towards the end there, majority of those mines were not on cooldown. So again, if Seither just pulled back a little bit, if he just calmed down a little bit, if he just didn't go full cowabunga. But I could be wrong there. And speaking of potentially being wrong, here we have it in the right-hand side of the map. You see, I'm fulfilling my my thing. That's a segue. In the right-hand side of the map, spawning in the right-hand side of Golden Wall. LE, of course, stands for... Yeah, most of the mines! I'm looking at the mines right now! What is going on? LE, of course, stands for... Lasting expansion. That stands, it is what it is. In the blue Terran, he is the man, the myth, the legend himself. He has escaped from Tarkov. He represents Mind Freak SC. It is Seither. Or you can tell folks a little cheeky this game.
He is. We have spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Golden Wall LE, representing Legacy Esports, as well as the land of Melbourne, Australia. We have Probe.
All right, I think I've gotta start being in the pants of Seither because now I need to calm down a little bit. And calm down.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it goes to show, like, we opened up the series talking about, like, Seither and kind of, like, this innate skill that he has. It's like someone who plays nothing but Tarkov these days.
Hey, sometimes he plays Dota.
Yeah, maybe he got a Valorant key too and he plays that every now and then. I don't know. But, like, to lose such a close game against one of, if not, I would say the best Australian player at least.
Sure, easily.
Yeah. Like, that has a lot to say about, like, the skill of Seither.
And you know what? I think it might also, I guess, I might have to write an essay about this. I guess you could try to stretch it and say that, oh yeah, that game is definitely an indicator that maybe Seither doesn't play as much as perhaps he could, because, it's that ending. That's something that generally is prevented with experience, I think. But I don't know, I ain't a pro.
Yeah, and again, we'll see as they are getting in game number 2. And again, this could go either way, especially on a map like Golden Wall, which you could argue, I mean, both Terran and Protoss can kind of utilize the map to their advantage, you know, whether it's with the gold base, whether it's with positioning tanks behind like the wall. There's a lot of potential here, and we'll see if they use any of it.
That will definitely be something to keep in mind. One thing that I know from Probe, one thing that I know he likes to do on this map is very quick Stargate fleet beacon builds, which, I mean, for now, Probe, he's getting his robo facility, so I don't think he's going full Probe, but yeah, we're still gonna be waiting a little while to see how things happen. There's just so many options that the Terran player and the Protoss player can really go for in this map.
Yeah, and so far we do have Probe going for a pretty similar opener to game number 1, going for Blink once again, but Seither.
Oh, Seither. He's going full on. I like to call it the Clem build. Some people call it the Euthermal build. Some people call it the Maru build, but my boy was where I learned it from. Right, the Clem build is something that's very aggressive. It's something that we've seen a lot lately. I mean, again, I've seen Maru do it quite a bit last Super Tournament. It's, you know, 2 Banshees with Cloak, 2 tanks, get a bunch of Marines, a bunch of SCVs. You push out without stim, and get some bunkers to cover the tanks. But that's also a bit of a risky build, is that you have to at least kill the 3rd base when you do that.
Yeah, and we'll see what Seither manages to do with it. Meanwhile, Seither, he did send his Reaper into the main base of Probe, and he got a full scout off. He was able to see everything within the main of Probe, so he should things should click with what he's seen, and he should see that Probe is doing the same thing as he did last time, right? Blink is on the way. He got the Robo as well. There should be an Observer going out. So we'll see if Seither does anything with that information. Regardless, the Banshee is on its way to the main base, and I do believe Probe sent his Observer out across the map. I don't think it's at home for defense.
There it is. Yep, there it is over in Seither space, as we can see here. Now is fully aware of the Banshees. So a second Observer is going to be just about completed here for Probe.
Yeah,
but the main thing for Seither is he wants to try to distract this army of Probe so that he can open up that 3rd base, or basically any position, any base of the Protoss, so he can set up his bunkers and his tanks. So he can take, while Probe is moving across the map. That's not what I saw coming at all. At all.
I mean, he should have some units at home for defense. He did spot the Banshee opener, so he should be aware of that at least. But so far, like Seither, he looks like pretty well defended here at home. He's got a tank, a bunker.
He's getting cannons anyway.
Okay, yeah, it's fine. It's got
cannons. Yeah. And you know what? I like this from Probe. He's not going all the way up the ramp, because early game, you're kind of guessing, the Terran player is going to be playing defensive in the early game in the TPP. So Probe, he's just keeping his units there to try to catch Seither unsieged. And as it turns out, Seither is not going forward. Well, he might have been planning it initially, but then switched it up later on. But yeah, we're not going to see a bunker rush like.
Yeah, and so far nothing has really been done with the Banshees of the Seither either. So a little bit unfortunate that he went for this opener and nothing has come of it so far. Also curious to see which expansion Seither goes for. It does look like he's flying over to the gold ? I thought he was going to fly down south, but no, he's going for the gold.
This is definitely something that I like. I can't tell you that, but you also know why.
Yeah,
it's kind of exactly. No, but it's also a little bit more defensive, or maybe not defensive, but conventionally, it's a little bit easier to hold, in my opinion. There are multiple ways to do this. I feel like as the Terran player, I could be wrong on this. I could be wrong on this because I just haven't seen that many games of this map, to be honest. But I feel like as the Terran player, you have to pick north of the wall or south of the wall. You cannot do both. And personally, I prefer to go north of the wall.
It can be really hard to defend both sides, especially because like the pathways to go like from one end to the other, it can like be really limiting and restricting as well. But we do have, and Probe once again comes into the main base with the Warp Prism with Zealous as well. The tank is a little bit exposed.
But there's a lot of friendly fire. I was so worried there when the SCV surrounded the Zealot Light, let me tell you. Rapid fire coming in, rapid warping coming in for Probe here in the natural base, but Seither is already on top of it. He is okay. I thought this was going to be difficult, but Seither is successfully defending in 3 areas at once. Is bleeding out a couple of units to that, but not really losing his economy too much.
Yeah, a lot of that came down to his tank positioning. He had a tank in the main base, he had 3 or 4 at the gold as well, so he was set up to defend multiple locations at once. The Zealots did in the end up killing 5 or so workers, which is a lot, to be fair, and we have to be careful because Probe, as we saw in the previous game, he likes to jump in every now and then when your army's not at home, and he can find a lot of damage. Meanwhile, Probe, he's continuing to expand north.
That he is, and just look at the worker difference right now. Like, that is the extent of a macro Protoss, you know, making good use of that chrono boost. He's still making more workers, but honestly, he can just cut it for a little while now. 70 workers, you know, not the best, not the end game amount of probes that you want, but it's pretty dang good.
I think it's also good that Seither decided to take the gold then, because even though he's down on workers, he can take advantage of those high yield minerals and catch up in that respect. So he isn't as far behind as you would think just looking at the worker count.
And especially if you were to look at the army units, like there he goes. Yeah,
which again, I like it, you know. Seither, he's getting those ghosts. The EMPs, at least in the previous game, you know, he can land them well.
Yeah, we're pretty, I think he would. Yeah, he was a little bit trigger happy with the EMPs last game. I would say he did miss like 1 High Templar, which is always the bane of any Terran player. You miss 1 High Templar, that's a high energy, and that's. But yeah, Seither can definitely land. One thing I want to know, like, has Seither made a single ghost since mid last year? Because he is not getting that EMP upgrade.
It's possible that he does not know that that upgrade exists. That is a very real possibility. So, yeah, we'll see as, a Dark Shrine goes down by Probe. That can also be quite annoying as well, depending on how he uses it. It's definitely going to be for DT since he already has the Templar Archives. So, yeah, we'll see. Nice Sensor Tower, though, by Seither, going to be able to defend his gold base.
Yeah, his gold base and the base up towards north. Seither, you know, he's a little bit exposed down in the south, but at the same time, Probe hasn't set up anything or made any indication that he can really go there, other than with his Warp Prism. But when that happens, you just get a bunch of missile turrets. All right, a big army clash might happen. There's not going to lose a ghost. There's not going to lose a ghost. Hot pickup coming in from Seither.
Yeah, he's done that a couple of times this game. I really do enjoy it, and he looks like he's trying to hunt down that Warp Prism, but so far it does get away.
Yeah, indeed he does, and this is actually a little bit scary right now for Seither. He wants to,
you say that, but he's almost maxed out. Like Seither, to be fair, both are. So both players are looking pretty strong right now. I feel like it will come down to the EMPs and the High Templar.
It is almost your die time. 1 High Templar already gets sniped. And Seither does have eyes on that army. This is a good spread of Templar from Probe. It is not going to be easy for Seither to really
flanking Templar gets taken out. Another Templar goes down. All the EMPs land. There's only 1 High Templar left.
But there's still, that's still at least 4 storms there.
Yeah.
So yeah, Seither does have to be a little careful.
He has to be so careful. Yeah. Oh, he's moving his ghost up. He's going for the EMPs. He has vision.
All right.
He gets the
EMP upgrade. No. He does actually get most of the Templar there, but now Seither is all in. He cannot defend his main anymore, but he is still being a little bit on the fence here.
Oh, it looks like he will snipe the Dark
Shrine. And that's definitely something. It's definitely something. Good EMPs once again, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think Probe has done enough damage in the main, and Seither is just not being decisive enough right now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I understand that you want to be patient at certain moments, but I feel like at this time, Seither, he's on a timer right now, and he has to try and...
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. He has to push in and be aggressive with his siege tanks and liberators as well. He can't let Probe,
you notice that those medevacs are not healing the bio?
Yeah.
All right, now
oh my god, that bio is so
the
low.
EMP! That's how you get some on these sentries, and that's always nice. 19 probes have gone down, and this is a proper base race. Somehow, Seither is actually ahead in this trade, but now the ghosts are down. There are a couple of ghosts left, but they are not in position to EMP those Templar, and Tempest are on the way for probe, and that could be the final nail in the coffin if Seither isn't careful here. Gets another storm off, another couple of storms. That ghost is not dead, which is a huge surprise, but this bio very much is. And there are still plenty of storms available for Probe. Seither does have the higher army count, but he is losing it real fast here. The Tempest, yeah, there's nothing here that can really fight the Tempest right now.
Exactly, there are no more Marines left. There are a couple of Liberators, but you don't want to be using them against Tempest, and I feel like it looks like Probe, he's held, potentially, but Seither, like, he's not in an awful position. He has lost a lot in his main, but the rest of his bases are still looking pretty good. Oh, nice save on the tank.
Indeed it was. Who am I watching right now, Bjorn?
But in the end, the tank picked off, and yeah, Seither, he has to be so careful again. Like, he is down in supply. Another 15 workers go down, but if he can, like,
man.
Yeah, if he can, like, gain control of his main bases, I feel like he should be able to hold a counterattack.
I mean, at this point, you have to wonder, is it too little too late? There's still a path for Seither, but it is going to be something that, it's an uphill battle. And Probe, we all know that once Probe has the high ground, it doesn't matter how much he underestimates your power.
And there's no vision here either. So these DTs are doing so much for Probe. And it looks like Seither, he's forced to pull his army back, which means Probe, he's getting another base, you know? He's, what is that, a fifth base now? Like, to the north, he's able to expand freely. Meanwhile, Seither, he's running around his bases trying to regain control of everything. And we'll see as more and more Tempests are coming out.
He needs missile turrets, so I don't think he can afford them right now. Probe is starting to bank up and really focus on the units that he wants to get here. But this is an army that can fight Probe's army. These two armies are about even, in fact, in certain positions. Seither's army might actually be favored, but he does have to beat them. No, he does not. I don't think he remade the Ghost Academy after it got sniped.
That's the big thing right now, because
getting caught off now.
Yeah, the bios are getting caught off, and there's just so many storms for Probe, and now he's close to getting maxed out. He's going to be close to pushing into the bases of Seither. Seither still hasn't remade the Ghost Academy. He needs it so badly. Or maybe even Vikings to try and deal with the Tempest. It's hard to say.
Well, he is starting to get into those Vikings, but it'll be a long ways away before they can really be effective. Oh, you do not want to fight under the Archon, Seither! Seither, don't fight here! But a storm does go down, but it does. Oh, that indeed he does, and there's still plenty of bio. But I don't think it might be, depending on how the splits are.
There's so many high Templar.
But there's just so much energy. Yeah, Dark of time! And we see Seither. He cannot escape Tarkov, man.
GG. Well played. Seither does go down 0-2 to Probe. Probe moves on to face Demi, the Indian Zerg player, that's C representative, which, oh my god, that's a juicy matchup.
That is a juicy matchup. These two players have gone back and forth quite a bit. In fact, I think Probe was the one to take out Demi twice, question mark? Or a couple of times, but now Demi has a pretty good shot. He's been practicing quite a bit more lately in the in the lead up to, or the potential lead up anyway, to Valencia Challenger next not even next month, in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and we'll see if if he's been practicing as much recently, because I do believe it was a couple of weeks ago where there was Seither with the Tarkov meme, but then it was Demi with Dota. So
And oh, I remember that. It was Pez who was
uh,
in. I think it was Pez playing against Demi. No, it was Sheldon playing against Seither playing against Demi. And Pez was like, "All right, whoever loses, I'll play. It will determine whether I play Dota or Tarkov tonight."
yeah, I think that was in GPO. I think that was the GPO that he won, that Seither won. Yeah. It was like this circumstance where Pez is like, all right, whoever loses, like, I'll play like Dota or Tarkov with. But then Pez and Seither ended up going all the way to the finals, so they had to play anyway.
Yeah. So what it was, but yeah, going back to that game real quick, I saw a someone in chat, Kioff in chat, really summed it up in my eyes. It just felt a lot like Seither was way too on the fence when he really had to be either more aggressive or more defensive. He needed to make a decision at the very least.
Yeah, like when Seither was pushing into the natural of Probe, like it was good that he was dealing that damage, but he had all of these Liberators and tanks kind of just not really doing much in between. And meanwhile, Probe, he was sitting back fine because he was just waiting for his Tempest to come out, and they were slowly getting more and more done. So Seither, he really had to make a move. And yeah, he just gave Probe too much time, and it's unfortunate because both games he ended up in the same position where he was kind of all in because there was just too much chaos happening in his main base. So
Indeed. But again, that's probably why Seither is one of the more entertaining players to really watch in the from Australia.
Yeah,
because he does put himself in situations like that.
Yeah, and that's also why, like, for the people watching, I don't know if there are people who aren't familiar with the Australian scene, but like Seither, he's kind of been a mainstay for a long time, and it's unfortunate that like he doesn't play as often as he used to. But like it's at the same time it's cool to see him come out for something like ESL Open Cup, and we do see him still compete, and when he does, he always like shows. As much of a meme as it is, he shows good games, like
for fans.
Yeah.
It was him and Hut. Him and Hut are the two Australian Terran players who I stole builds from.
Yeah. I mean, there was him, Hut, and
there was also
Fuely, right?
Yeah, and Fuely until Fuely switched to Protoss.
Yeah. Those were dark times. Maybe if he never switched, he would still be here with us today. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd actually have good builds now.
But GG, well played, and I mean, yeah, we'll see. Like, it's really cool. We're touching on the scene a little bit. It's cool that ESL and Dare are supporting the ANZ scene as much as they are, because over the past year, even I think it's just been a year. Like, we have lost a lot of players. Everyone knows like the Gimli Terran, the ex-Gimli Terran, the Infested Terran, and then
Mr. Lagus.
Yeah, I guess, right? Like NXZ, he also isn't playing competitively anymore. But to be fair, he did sign up for the first ESL Open Cup, I believe. We were able to cast him, but yeah, like there are these players that some of them, they're coming out for this, and that's like it's cool to see that they still have like some kind of passion for StarCraft.
Nodding my head.
Looking at you, Hut.
Yeah. Yeah, why can't I spam slip for Hut anymore?
I know.
Around.
The copy pastas.